Michael Knowles and Harrison Butker. Who, you might ask, chat? Well, I know who Harrison Butker is. Harrison Butker is definitely not gay and is a kicker in the NFL. They kick a ball for points. I love kickers. Okay, no disrespect to kickers. He's not the most important guy you could be. Harrison Butker gave the best commencement speech of my lifetime, says Michael Knowles. Let's see who the smarmiest guy in the world thinks is real cool. Do you think the smarmiest guy in the world gives an endorsement of a man, and I will appreciate that endorsement and be like, yeah, I agree, he is cool? Harrison Butker gave a commencement speech, and smarmy-ass Michael Knowles really liked it.
Harrison Butker.
Too loud, sir.
Of the Kansas City Chiefs. Just gave a commencement speech.
He's mouthy. He presses his mouth lips together and makes noises with them a lot.
Benedictine College. I was ranting a week ago about how modern university commencement speeches are generally terrible and how comedian speeches are generally the worst of all of them. And I was surprised that Jerry Seinfeld, no knock on Seinfeld, but I was just surprised given the type of speech it was. That
nobody liked his speech. Of course, Michael Knowles liked the speech that everyone was walking out of.
He gave a good speech. Well, now we have, without question, the greatest example of a university commencement speech in my lifetime. This guy, Harrison Butker, is one of the most articulate, insightful.
Michael Knowles has a crush. This is what's happening.
People in public life. And I know he kicks a football for a living, but
it's a crush. Compared
to the speeches of congressmen, senators, governors, presidents, intellectuals.
You guys remember that song? I remember that song. It's not like who sings that song? That song bang, dude.
Academics. This guy gave. It was a tour de force. It was the best commencement speech I have ever heard that was delivered during my. I'm trying to think of an exception. Probably 100.
He's a fucking charisma black hole. It's taken him 120, a minute 20, for me to be like, I gotta stop this just to refocus. I looked at chat for 1 second and lost what the fuck he was talking about. I mean, I know what he's talking about. Like, I know what the subject is, but he's trying to have some opinion about it, and I don't even know what he's saying.
If I was gay or something.
He's just fucking. He's so smarmy. I can't even listen. Looks like Michael Knowles heard the butthole box comment and felt that it would improve the situation to show its cigars. Oh, I see. He opened the butthole box and was like, "Look, cigars are inside the butthole box. It does sort of look like a butthole." Jennifer Page sang it. Oh, one hit wonder. Good job, Jennifer. Great song. More hits than I've had.
Years ago, there were better commencement speeches, or at least as. But I actually don't know. It was that good. Without further ado, Mr. Butker, take it away.
As members of the church founded by Jesus Christ, it is our duty and ultimately privilege to be authentically and unapologetically Catholic. Don't be mistaken, even within the church, people in polite Catholic circles will try to persuade you to remain silent. There even was an award-winning film called Silence, made by a fellow Catholic, wherein one of the main characters, a Jesuit priest, abandoned the church and as an apostate, when he died, is seen grasping a crucifix, quiet and unknown to anyone but God. As a friend of Benedictine College,
Yeah, this dude sucks. Boo! All right. Is he falling off? I mean, he's a good fantasy football kicker. Yeah, he was good last year, dude. It was his best year. The year before that was rough, though. 94%, 33 of 35. They're not going to cut him. The NFL will never cut a man for this. Although, people are like, hey, we should cut this guy. There's been 200 signatures right now on a change.org thing, which I don't know if those are who even looks at those. 200 people have signed a change.org thing to get this guy kicked off of the Kansas City Chiefs. If that happened, the Cleveland Browns would just pick him right up. It would happen immediately.
Excellency.
That's a great look. The Cleveland Browns have done some questionable hirings in the past, is what I'm saying. Okay, for you nerds that don't watch sports. Okay, dude.
Bishop Robert Barron said in his review of the film, "It was exactly what the cultural elite want to see in Christianity: private, hidden away, and harmless. Our Catholic faith..."
Absolutely. Keep your fucking crazy ass religion to yourself, kicker boy. Just kick some stuff. Just go kick. Go kick. Your religion is crazy. You can have some political beliefs. Your religion shit. I mean, the political beliefs are because of your religious beliefs, though, which is my problem, really. I mean, really, when it comes down to it, that you make decisions based on things that aren't fucking real is a big problem to me. Just foundationally. That's really what my problem is. My ass would be sleeping? Oh, hell yeah.
Has always been countercultural. Our Lord, along with countless followers, were all put to death for their adherence to her teachings. The world around us says that we should keep our beliefs to ourselves whenever they go against the tyranny of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Harrison, what diversity, equity, and inclusion are you opposed to? This is just right-wing rhetoric. DEI shit. Yeah, DEI is woke, is, what the fuck was it even before? Critical race theory, CRT. It's the same shit. They're always trying to have some kind of buzzword to try to take your civil rights.
Congress just passed a bill where stating something as basic as the biblical teaching of who killed Jesus could land you in jail.
It goes on, and I've had to just pick small moments because the speech goes on for 20 minutes.
I'm not watching his 20. He made a 20-minute speech. I didn't know it was 20 minutes. I've seen like 2 minutes of this speech. I did not realize that he really made it that long.
Is so spot on the money.
Is it? What is? You say you have a cup that says leftist tears right there, and you're about to tell me that Christians are like fucking, you were pushed to the margin?
He's not just saying, he's obviously at a Catholic college here, Benedictine, so he's tailoring his remarks even more specifically in Catholic language. And it would appear that Mr. Butker is, like me, an attendee of the traditional Latin Mass and, holds the views that tend to go along with that. Butker comes out here and he says, when Catholicism...
That was such a fucking virtue signal. I attend traditional Latin Mass. He can't not be smarmy, dude. It's so crazy how these guys act. I go to traditional Latin Mass. That's fucking dumb. That's dumb to me, Mike. That's stupid and dumb.
When the faith appears in the culture,
who cares?
What does the culture want? They want us to be quiet. They want it to all be private.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, Mike. Yes, your faith is stupid. No. In fact, let's talk about your faith. Anyone deconstructing their religion, I want to talk to. Are you deconstructing your religion right now? Talk to me. It will deconstruct much faster. Let's go. There's no reason to hold on to this shit. It's just not true. Aren't you interested in why I genuinely don't believe you're God? Isn't that interesting at all? Like, if you're a religious person, if I was religious, and I wouldn't be for long, if I was religious, I would be so fascinated by the concept of someone who doesn't believe. What do you mean you don't believe in the God? It's a God. There it is. It's in everything we do. How can you not believe in such? I've had Christians and other religious people talk to me like this, and I was like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Look, the beauty," and I show them like an echidna dick. Have you ever seen an echidna penis? Can I show an echidna penis for scientific purposes? I mean, I don't think anyone on Twitch is going to think that this is sexual. So I think I can absolutely show you. So an echidna is like a cute little guy. Let me show you what an echidna is first. Look, there's tiny little fellas with schnoots. They got schnoots. They're cute. He needs his goobers wiped because he doesn't have a human to help. Someone wipe this man's goobers immediately. He's adorable. The Lord Jesus Christ had a hand in the four-headed echidna penis. That's not a joke. It comes out of that, and then it has literally 4 spraying heads. That's your God did this? Why? Where's the beauty in that? What is the beauty? We don't even have to go to human atrocities or the problem of evil. The beauty is what you're going to say? Anyway.
Remember, this was a subtle change of language when freedom of religion became freedom of worship. Those politicians used to talk about religious freedom. They don't really talk about that so much anymore. Now they talk about freedom of worship. Why? Because religious freedom, it has more public connotations to it.
Like what?
Freedom to worship, that's something you can just kind of do in your head, in your home, not...
I would definitely not protect religion in any way. I mean, you can't like hurt somebody for any reason. But I wouldn't protect religion. That's crazy. There's no reason to do so. It's made up. It's like, I mean, literally I can start a religion. We could start a religion based on our interactions, chat. Does that sound ethical? The religion is that we should all humans deserve dignity and survival necessities. That's the religion. John Oliver did? Yeah. We are meant to constantly dance around their feelings as if they didn't slaughter everyone that lived here that had their own beliefs. Exactly. Religious freedom, unless it's not Christianity. Eat shit. No fucking way. Crusade 2, atheism versus believers.
Not in public, not for anybody to see.
They would win right now. They have all the institutional support.
No one, it doesn't affect anybody else. It does. You wouldn't even know. You just, and Butker says, no, we're called to public life, and we're called to public professions of our faith. And that's gonna be countercultural. It's always been countercultural. It's been countercultural since ancient Rome.
Have you ever seen a sassier little guy?
Be countercultural. It's always been countercultural. It's been countercultural since ancient Rome.
Ancient Rome. Betch. Like fucking... It's a weird lie. It was countercultural in portions of ancient Rome, and then it became adopted by the state itself in Rome, and then it became a world power, the Holy Roman Empire, for instance. It became the mainstay religion of all of the, like, throughout the Middle Ages and well past into the fucking Renaissance, into the fucking Enlightenment, and well into fucking now, okay, to modern day. This has been the mainstream religion. You're wrong, man. He's going to make a distinction between that and, like, Protestantism, which is just crazy because, like, Catholics definitely have a big piece of that fucking pie, dude. Like, of power. You're not fucking marginalized. 2,000 years of being mainstream is totally countercultural, right?
And the political forces, they're going to try to silence us, like that law that the Congress that the Republicans in Congress tried to pass a week or two ago, which would have amended Title VI to ban quoting parts of the New Testament.
That would have been fucking dope. I don't even know what that bill was. Sounds great.
To ban quoting facts from the gospel.
What fact from the gospel, my dude? What facts from the gospel? You know, he said facts from the gospel. I don't even believe this guy believes.
Totally crazy stuff. You say, how could this happen? Well, Butker says, because the culture has always been against the true faith. Because this world is governed by principalities and powers and spiritual wickedness in high places. Then he goes on. That isn't even the part that went viral. I thought this was all, to me, the most interesting.
I'm a human who is a father of cats. All right. I appreciate your honesty.
Interesting part was when he's speaking about the faith and the implications of the faith in public life. But the part that went viral is when Harrison Butker is talking about the main thing that goes viral these days, namely the relationship between men and women.
I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now, about to cross this stage, and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world.
A baby fucking literally crying. I went to school with some religious people for sure, but I was coworkers with some very religious people over the years. People that were like having kids super early, people that were getting married super early, like way too early, obviously. Just like, this thing rots your brain, man. It makes you prioritize shit you should not be prioritizing. You don't need to be a kid and immediately have a kid. You need to experience life. Go experience some life. How are you going to be a good parent to your child if you don't know what the fuck life is about? Like, how can you possibly do that? Have any perspective to offer them if you're just a kid yourself? It's not a good situation. And this is what they push on people. And, like, you just graduated college, you're a kid, man. You're for real a kid. I know that you have responsibilities. Maybe you don't even want to feel like you're a kid because you're not, like, a child, right? But I think there's, like, a difference. Like, children need, like, adult supervision. Kids can kind of, like, do their own thing. We're still kids when we're in our 20s, man, like, early 20s. I think, like, 25 is, like, like shit starts to settle a little bit, you might still be a little tumultuous, but you're kind of a person. And I think once you're fucking 25 or whatever, you'll be like, damn, I think he was right. If you're not 25, lots of people in here probably have that perspective though. New adult, yeah, raising kids in a religious context can seriously fuck them up for real.
I can tell you that
it's Bune. Thanks for the 2 months. 26 is when brain development is complete. Well, there you go. You're done. You're done being a person at 26. You can pack it in. I know what you mean, though. Yeah, I agree. I think, 25, 26, somewhere in there, is definitely when you feel more like a human person with like full fucking autonomy. It is definitely. You still don't feel like an adult most of the time. Well, here's the fucking secret, right? Being an adult is just doing what you want within certain like rules or whatever, right? A lot of people are raised in the culture like this, where it's like you have to do this or this or this, and it's like, in this case, it's like you have to go get married and you have to have kids, and you have to be religious and you have to do this, and you have to like purport yourself a certain way. I mean, just literally pursue happiness, whatever that means for you. Just pursue some happiness.
My beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother.
That's creepy, man. As Catholics, how do you vibe with that? How is that something that you're proud to say? Oh yeah, my wife, she says that she didn't really start living until she married me and had my kids. Like, she wasn't a person until I was there. That's depressing, man. Like, so weird. Insane behavior. Like, definitely you can love someone and like grow together, but they were a whole ass person before you met, with feelings and experiences and everything. Like, they're a whole person, and they're still gonna be a whole person apart from you and with you. It's just nuts, man. These people think about stuff so strangely.
I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with the many talents God has given me, but it cannot be overstated that all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker.
Yeah, man, that's fucking lame and gross. Like, I know that he's like, oh, I love my wife, and sure, man, I'm glad you love your wife. We all love our wives. Not all of us, actually. They get divorced. She gets to stay at home while he travels the country, getting strange in every city. They stop at getting strange. Wow. I think Harrison Butker calls it getting strange. A Catholic sees this. Michael Knowles, a conservative, and they're like, oh my God, that's so touching. A homemaker. It's the best thing she could possibly do. And that's like crazy to say. There's a way to express that you appreciate the effort that your like wife puts into, maintaining your relationship and home and like helping raise children and stuff like that. But like, holy shit, it sounds like you don't do nothing, man. It sounds like she has to do this, or she's really pointless. And you're telling a group of people who just graduated from college to just like toss that shit out and like, you should actually be a hyper-conservative, quiverful Christian and have a bunch of kids and be a homemaker. That's weird. I know that it's this misogyny is so odd, and they think like he thinks he's being like a wife guy here. Like, women hear this, and if they're normal, they're like, bro, what the fuck? I can do other stuff. We all home make. What do you mean you're not gonna make no home, Harrison? I realize you're on the road and doing stuff. And I realize that has demands. You're not going to make no home? You're going to do any homemaking? I contribute to my home. What the fuck? Well, I buy everything. Ugh, fucking dude. That's the vibe. That's the... Hey, who had a dad like that? Anyone have a dad like that? I pay the bills around here. That's my contribution. That's the end of it. That's all you got to do. These guys would be unable to function.
Bicycles!
These guys would be unable to function without a mommy looking over them and babying them. Peak manliness. Dude. It is okay to want to be taken care of in some way. Like, we all need care. But, like, to be taken care of like you're a widow baby is fucking weird. I need a mom. Look, there's things that Sarah is good at and that are too, like, daunting for me, and there's things that are way too daunting for her and that I gotta do. Like I didn't want to do the cable management on this. She is content in doing that kind of thing and is good at it, and I appreciate her a lot. And she doesn't like to make a phone call, so I make all the phone calls. It's even Stevens around here. She doesn't like to touch the dishes. I do them. I don't like doing laundry. She does laundry. Yeah, and then we share other tasks around here. We're copacetic, man. I help her out in those situations though because I have guilt. Do you guys? Let's psychoanalyze. I hate phone calls too, dude. They give people anxiety. I get it. You want a mommy, but not in the same way this guy. I bet it is.
The man here is on the verge of tears, pouring out an expression of love for his wife.
Yeah.
And the libs and the feminists are accusing him of misogyny.
Yeah, man, that was misogynistic. He was brought to tears by the thought of a misogynistic thing. Yeah, that's true.
For saying that he loves his wife and she excels in her role as a homemaker and a mother.
That's not what he said.
Wife.
Not that she excels. It says he says that is her job. Like, that's what she was supposed to do. And not in like, it was her higher calling. Like, no, that's her role. And it is also your role as women to fulfill that role. That is the role that you fill. To pursue other things would be lesser. So implying that, of course, if you're a woman who does not want to pursue that, which is normal, then you are a lesser person. It's crazy stuff. It's misogynist. It implies that, of course, there is a gender role, which there isn't. There are no roles for your gender. You get to decide the role you play in your own life. Isn't that nuts? Easy.
The parallel here is really even stranger because I too, Elise and I don't quite remember all of the details, but we either met in 6th grade homeroom or in 5th grade district orchestra. And he says, I met in middle school band. So even that, Harrison Butker and I were basically the same guy.
You're so cringe.
Except, of course, that he's an extremely successful NFL player and I have a podcast. But other than that, other than he's a really top athlete and I pretty much couldn't hit the ball in T-ball. Other than that, he and I pretty much, you look and say, who's the real one? Who do I shoot? Which is basically indistinguishable. But in that matter, really, we do have a great similarity. And he gets choked up with it because he says, I couldn't do what I do. I couldn't be the man that I am without my wife. That's not flattery. That's absolutely true. If I had to spend all of my time raising my children, keeping my home, managing the private life of the family, the basic building block of politics,
the basic building block of politics
had to, I don't know, cook the meals, clean everything.
He doesn't do any of that? You do a podcast. You don't have time to do any of that? Oh my God, dude. I swear to God, women, you do not have to do this. You can fuck other people who will fulfill you in ways that don't just involve like paying for the mortgage, okay? And filling your womb with babies. You can still do both of those things. But it doesn't have to be like this. This is a choice. These men are bad. Have you considered non-men? Huh? I'm not just here trying to toot my horn or anything. I'm fine. I'm doing fine. I'm not looking for more attention. I'm talking about, have you considered that you don't need men at all? Leave the door open because they are poor. There are not a lot of them that are looking like they're quality. Is Chris in this dude's dump stat? Yeah, and then he chose to do... He doesn't have... you know what? He doesn't really have above average anything, does he? I'd like to say he has intelligence, but he doesn't obviously apply it correctly. The only way it makes sense is if it's a full-on grift. And then it's like, masterful gambit, sir. You unethical piece of shit. You're either... He's either nefarious or a dum-dum. These are the choices. I mean, obviously you can have a gradient of the two. And I believe he is both, but I think... I think he's definitely in the old I'm not gay camp though.
Educate my children in the sense of, the actual nuts and bolts of
The nuts and
teaching and
bolts.
nurturing your children day in and day out. I wouldn't have 1 minute to do this show. It's not possible. I know we live in modern life where we're told that, if a man doesn't wash exactly 50% of the dishes, he's a misogynist or something, but that's totally nonsense. Men and women are different. We're drawn to different things. And I sometimes think, if I didn't have a wife and children, I'd be so much more productive. And then I think, oh, no, actually, I wouldn't. I would be lying on the couch watching a baseball game, eating potato chips, probably. That's what I'd be doing. Or I'd be out, carousing at a bar or something like that.
It sounds like he was dropped into a locker room with men and is like, I have to fit in. I have to blend in like one of them. Hey, fellas, I see that you've just played some pickleball and are all sweaty and have just showered. My name is Michael, and I would like to know if you would like to go carousing in the bars later this evening. I have some... No, those aren't buttholes. They're cigars, as you can see. A very classy. You don't smoke? You're working out. Why would you smoke weed, though? Oh, but these are cigars. They're expensive in front. They're too... really, they'd smell bad. Your wife, your partners don't like it. You want to carouse? You don't want to carouse with me? That makes me feel bad. And now he does right-wing podcasts. There you go. That's the origin story.
Of course not. It's your wife civilizes you, and you, one hopes, tame your wife or.
You gotta tame her like a fucking bronco. Exactly. Yeah. Sarah was out here pissing on the floor until I tamed her. That's true.
At least provide some leadership to your wife. It's not just a one-way street.
Yeah, leadership. Yeah, that's right.
You are just purely the recipient.
Okay, but that's only because she's a bottom, not because she's a girl.
Of all the wonderful, adornments of married life from your wife, one hopes that the man contributes something too, and the two grow together because we become one flesh, and the whole is greater than the parts. Absolutely right. And for that, he's being called a sexist, which proves the first part of his speech, which is if you state basic truths in a fallen world, in a world that has gone mad, that is subject not totally...
In a world that has gone mad. The Christians, barbarians for fucking 2,000 years. Why is everybody so crazy? We're just trying to kill them and bring on the apocalypse. Why won't they let us kill them and subjugate them and bring the apocalypse? Why? Don't they know Jesus loves them and his blood will clean them? Let us clean you with blood. Do we not? This is literally what they say. Can we listen? They're nuts. This should not look. Straight up, I'm getting to the point where it's like, should we allow this shit? Should it be allowed? It's like, should we regulate belief? No, you can't do that. You'd have a counterculture. What you can do is educate people. You certainly can disallow it in public spaces like we do in the Constitution. Only immediate. Well, that's what I mean, right? Not like private. That would be pretty tough to do. That would be a pretty tough sell, even for me. I'm not authoritarian enough. But I think you could kill it in public stuff. I mean, not like this. You'd still have podcasts. Jake looking at these two totally not gay men. Sorry, that was no.
To reason, but also to concupiscence and...
Incupiscence? You fucking smarmy piece of shit. Incupiscence. Like incubuses? Incupiscence. Nope, incumbents.
But also to concupiscence and...
Incupiscence? I'm seeing incipients. I don't think... Wait.
Concupiscence.
Concupiscence? Strong sexual desire? Did he mean that?
Concupiscence and...
Concupiscence? This is what he meant.
Concupiscence.
Concupiscence? Strong sexual desire or lust. Saint Anthony's battle with concupiscence. No wonder. It's all every time we look at concupiscence, like he tries to sound smart or whatever. It's just fucking Catholic shit. Concupiscence is an ardent longing, typically one that is sensual. In Christianity, particularly in Catholic and Lutheran theology, concupiscence is a tendency of humans to sin. Oh, we have sex drives because we're apes! We're apes! Guys, we need to just reconcile that we are apes and we like to party, okay? You get to party sometimes. It's crazy. We are apes that live on a space rock with no one to tell us what to do but each other, and we decide to live like this. We could go to the beach every day. We could just go to the beach.
And vice and disordered desires, then if you speak the truth, people are going to pillory you for it. And he's experiencing that right now. People are pillorying him for it. But that's all the more reason to watch his speech and take it seriously. That was a great clip.
It wasn't. I'm so glad it's over. Thank you so much, Michael, for the end. So in closing, I don't think that women need to be relegated to nothing more than motherhood. I think you can do motherhood if you want, and you don't have to. It doesn't make you more or less of a person at all. It actually has nothing. I've seen moms and dads be of varying quality. It doesn't seem to have any bearing on whether or not you're going to be a worthwhile person. So only do it if you think it's good for you, huh? How about that? What if we just only had kids when we were sure about it? Huh? That sounds pretty fucking nice to me. What if we don't have 1 billion kids? Well, we don't have 1 billion of them. We have less than that. We have fewer. We have fewer than 1 billion kids. Fine with that.